Okay, are we functional now? You know what? Let's consult the footage. Let's consult how much footage did I lose? When did we actually stop recording? Okay. And Twitch is now back up and running, so that means that I was probably offline for a lot longer than I thought. But okay, so which one of these is ours? I think it's this one. Okay, let's see where my beautiful stream ended. This was a while ago. Oh no. It stopped working like 20 minutes before I like noticed. So I've just been offline that whole time. Ah well. What have I done in the meantime? I did, I mean, let's just go into the world then. Alright. Get this thing. Get all my stuff like properly organized. Thank you, Godot, for taking the mouse 3 times. Actually, that's just my game's fault. I can just make it not do that. Let's see, put it in bugs. Don't take the mouse. In fact, it shouldn't take control of the mouse until we press play. But yeah, so we got Big Rock. Let's do... this is fine. You know what? Take your time, Godot. There we go. Okay. So we put the rock in, we put the road in. I guess actually you didn't miss too much, except for stream technical difficulties. But okay. This place is coming along now. There's a bit more density, a bit more variety. But okay, so I'm thinking the main thing now is actually designing the street and designing the buildings that I want here. Because yeah, this road is crooked as fuck, but what I'm gonna do is I'll just make a crustier texture. So that way it looks intentional. It's like this road is just not very well maintained since this place has like 250 people. And it's like a remote desert. In fact, I don't think this road even connects anywhere. Like, was that part of the... Was that a thing that you were part of? Basically, long story short, I don't know where this road is going to go from here. Like, it would make sense to me if there was some logical endpoint, like right about here, where it can split off and like do, you know, maybe something over here, and it crosses over, goes here, and then we just like, you know, let God take the wheel. Figure out where this road's going to go. Somehow get it down the hill. Or, like, maybe just running alongside the train tracks all the way to Nova Scotia, or wherever that leads. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Because I'm already, like, we already need a bridge there. So it would make sense if they reuse that for the infrastructure here. And actually, what if the road goes up? So, like, goes from there to there. And then just goes, and then just runs above the train tracks the whole way. Because I don't know if I've ever seen a road just, like, cross over in order to be out on the outside, but it just feels weird to have like a cliff face and then a train track like right next to you, where, you know, just running right next to the train tracks feels relatively normal, though it is quite close to the tracks. But oh well, I can figure that out at some point someday. Our real question is the buildings and the walls and the other things. So let's go to those. So I think just general. How long did this go up? Wait, what? Okay, this is what I meant. So this would be a post that would be 1.2 meters wide. Smooth. Shade smooth. Bevel. And this will be wall, post, high res. In stone. Let's call it, like, what should we call it actually? Maybe wall to post or something like that. Oh, we know we got these. Wall 7 mud are like simple. Okay, and then we can do make low res. Run this bad boy. We didn't get our low res, like, thing. Oh, wait. Oh, I see. Okay. This is correct. Basically, it creates the low res mesh, and it just has the one mesh. We didn't need anything special here. Okay. City stone. This is so dumb. I drank a can of, like, hippie Coke. Basically, Olipop cola flavor. If you know what Olipops are, they're Coke for hippies. And the caffeine is making me jittery because I haven't had caffeine in, like, a day. So my body's, like, not used to the, like, 1 milligram of caffeine in that soda. What am I looking for? Wall 17 or 7 or whatever it's gonna be. I don't see you. Oh, wait. I do see you. Okay, new inherited scene. Beautiful. And this will do our, like, mud wall. Oh, and also we need to change this to a static body. Entities, environment, remove the underscore, the devil's underscore. Because otherwise I'd have to have, like, proper logic to figure out how to, like, suffix numbers in Blender. There it is. Took me a few minutes there. But okay, basically, I just want to see how large this post is. Well, I'll just put it in anyway. A quick scale check for the gamers at home. And I guess like a physics check as well. Yeah, because I think I'm just going to have the wall and then the post instead of what I did for those walls where I had like one mesh with two materials and like the whole complicated system. I don't really need that. All I need... yeah, this is probably big enough. So yeah. Classic. Need the cube. Let's add a let's add another object. How do I want to do this? I basically want it to not be included in the import. Oh, I know exactly how to do it. File, oh wait, no I don't. Well, I kind of do. No, I just realized the way that I can do this, it makes more sense, is to just link this for reference so that I know how tall the wall should be. So we'll just have this be like 1 meter wide and then like... That'd be 2 meters wide. That's probably tall enough. Yeah, so we don't even need that at all. Wall 8. Yeah, I guess wall 8 like that. Simple. Short. High res. Bevel. And eventually I'll even figure out things to do for these. Right now, here, there we go. Perfect. And actually, does this still... No, these are, I wanted these to be linked. But I have to actually, like, put more work into figuring that out. But okay. Data... Placeholder materials. No animations. Okay. So wall 9, simple long. Oh wait, I should GLB export this. As wall 9 simple long now. There we go. Oh wait, this is what I needed. There we go. Also, this post needs to be hard group. This group. And wall 9. Once I get the ability to like add parameters to the script, everybody's gonna be I guess wanting my script because they'll be awesome, I guess. Okay. Yeah, that would be a really good addition, actually. I feel like eventually I should like start contributing more to the Godot engine. But it's just more work, you know? But okay, and here... What I should do is the same thing that I did for the other ones where I hardened the normals, but I do like the softer look. So I'll probably just accept it. Because I could do, you know, there's basically two options. I can basically have this one be flat. And so that, you know what? That does look better. Yeah, you can see the transition is still pretty obvious, but it doesn't, like, completely mess up the shading as much. I think for this one in particular, it's better than it was for, oh, not that one. This one. Okay, so let's just bring in some of these walls. That way I'll just figure out how this can be used together. And for this one, we don't necessarily need to use the... oh, wait, I forgot to actually make the wall longer. That was, like, one of the important aspects, I think, of the wall's design. I also need this. Oh, we need to select it and then do that. This wall is not quite correct. Oh. Wait, did that save the correct things? No. There we go. Okay. It should be wide enough that the wall is consistently, Yeah, I guess that's about right. Now we can have it so that this pillar is not messed up by the, you know, the whatever it is. Oh, I see what happened. My albums are not starting from the start because I've listened to them too many times. It's like, do you wanna start it over? But I don't. Or no. Do I want to continue from where I left off? There we go. Beautiful. So now what I can do is we have just some cubes, basically. In fact, eventually I should make it so that I just have, like, cubes. Like, I can just make a cube primitive out of the shape here. How would I do that, actually? I don't really know. Alright, and this one should have the same thing where it does the, flat. Yeah, because you can see it removes that gradient. Admittedly, in these simple cases, it actually creates more work to use the script, because I could just have duplicated this and then removed the modifier, like a linked duplicate. Well, actually, does shade flat work with linked things? Also, there's still the movement bug where you climb, like, 3 inches higher than I want. Like, you can see that she, like, falls onto the ledge, even though she's climbing up onto it. That'll be hard to figure out. But okay, enough of that. Enough diddlin' and dawdlin'. These look good, so we can start using these in the game. So we're gonna go back to the farms. And we're gonna start figuring out where all of my walls are gonna be. So I think the real thing... I should redraw most of these. So, like, I think they're gonna be kind of squared off. And what I'm envisioning is people would have walls here, and then you'd mostly just walk along this path. And then that begs the question of what exactly are they, like, doing with this area? Because I like the idea of doing something with this. It is level. Maybe this is where a cricket field could be. Well, no, it's not level enough. Do I want a big building here? What would actually be the benefit of that? What do I want here? It's a question I ask myself every day, but it's still relevant. Because I think I like this design, and then you can come up to here for some reason. Probably go off this way to do some fun adventuring up the video game. And then also here, we can start removing these, even though I spent so long making them. Well, I'll keep that for now. I don't know exactly what the boundaries of these rocks are going to look like in the end. What if we just put another rock in here? Well... I will leave that be for now. Instead, I want to move this to its new resting place, which will be, like, over here somewhere. So that way we can have it, like, come up over to here. You know, do things in the video game. Oh, this is actually in the correctish spot. Okay. There we are. No, we need that. There we go. Okay. This seems okay. I think the main thing that I'm going to do, let's go to rendered. Let's change the material on this, so that way I can actually see the dirt road. Environment city. Environment... Oh. Okay. And then I think we can do... how do we do alpha here? How do I do it for these ones? Oh, it's just the collection, so I can't change it. Transparency, render method blended? I don't think that's going to work so hot. It didn't do anything. Okay, so it still doesn't work with the alpha of textures for some reason. I think you have to, like, manually put it in. But what I really need here, and the reason I've even brought this up, is basically just so I can go to UV editor. Because, oh. There we go. We need this to be a bit wider. In fact, what would happen if we made it... that's gonna be not quite right. I think this will be about right. And then, actually, this whole thing, reset it, follow active quad. And let's do cursor to selected. Oh. There we go. Now we can see my beautiful machinations. The dirt road will work perfectly. And now, the real thing that I should be doing is figuring out how the hell any of this works together. Like, I kind of like this weird little, like, gap here. I think what I'd do, though, is I'd have it actually continue. So it's more like this. And then here, similar thing. I like just having weird boundaries to things. But it does beg the question of, like, why? Like, maybe there's a rock here. Let's just put a rock. Actually, we can put a stone... I'll just make a new rock. We can splurge occasionally, I say. And this will be a tricky one, because I want it to be convex. Oh wait, do I want it to be convex? It might actually be worse off, because convex colliders can only have so many faces before they also get really bad performance. Eh. So basically, there's a big rock. They didn't want to move. They didn't want to move this rock, wall around it, or like dig up the rock. So they just built a wall that ignores it. And anything in here? Probably not. Because this... Oh. Oh, I see what I need. We need to do subdivide. I should have also eaten. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. The fact that I, like, have gone, like, so regularly I don't even eat food before starting the stream, and it's like, I know I'm gonna be hungry. Do I want this to be like that? I kind of like this. Maybe what I like is this, though. You know, to have, like, a smart division here. So it's like, it's not quite a grid, but it's not quite just like haphazard. Well, I think it'd make more sense for these to be like right up next to the wall here. Because what do they gain from not being next to each other? You know, something I wish Blender had was like array modifiers that just place instances of an object, because that'll be really useful for some of these longer walls, unless I just make a really long wall. I mean, I have the power. Let's put this up here as well. This is also going to be kind of a nightmare to make, because it's going to have to also be out of, like, convex prefabs, as well as most of the rocks. But okay, let's put some rocks around as well. I have a beautiful rock. Actually, I don't need this. Doesn't that make my life easier? I think what I'd do is I like the density of houses. And I think the way that I can do this, or the thing that I want, is more, why am I fiddling with these? I'm going to replace these walls soon. The thing I'd want is more walls, more borders between us. You know, bring this down to, like, here or something, so that way there's, like, a reason for so few houses. You know, we have like this here or something, and we have like this that does like whatever it needs to do to just get out of the way of the other wall. I'm still not sure why I would have a walled area and then walls within the walls. I just like the idea, though. You know, so there's some sort of crops in here. I see a vertex. There we go. And then we'll also figure out the more arbitrarily laid out this area. Which probably, honestly, I might clear it out more. You know, like, not have any houses up here. Maybe a few back here, and like, you know, on this side, it could get a bit more like this. And then these could just be like old remnants of ruins or something. Well, I do like the idea of, like, people living amongst the ruins. I'll have to figure out what I want exactly. So let's call this Sirti Wall. Okay, whatever. Let's just go into the game, see how this feels. Okay. I should probably get the stuff together, but oh well. Oh, and this is right at the border of the demo area. Oh, right, nice. So the player can, like, start in here, and they're like, okay, I'm just gonna walk out. I'm just gonna go this way. Goodbye, video game. Oh, no. How could this happen to me? Look at all that video game out there that I'll have to pay full retail price when it releases on October 2026. Mark it on your calendar. But okay. And I can also break up this scene here by just having some rocks. Or having the wall distract us. But okay, do I have strong opinions on these various areas? I think what I want is maybe a little shop area here. You know, something more like public. Because this whole area is now a lot more developed and a lot more, like, visually interesting than it was. And it breaks up the sightlines a lot more. I shouldn't get too distracted by, like, walking in here again and patting myself on the back again. But I do like doing that. But okay. You know, and I'm thinking I might switch to Godot's forward plus renderer as well. I'll have to figure out if it actually runs, if it runs faster, or if I can like finagle the OpenGL renderer to work better. Oh yeah, I meant to check the performance of the what have you, those convex colliders. So let's see that. So we're getting pretty good frame rate here, about 8 milliseconds. Where's my little rock? There was supposed to be a little rock in here, wasn't there? Have we not imported? We haven't imported. I see. Did this not, like, hang on. So I think now, if we re-import this, we should have some rocks. Okay, we have rock, and we have wall. Oh, I went back to check if the music died, because I think that happened twice before. But okay. We go to rock. Put the rock material on it. Go to wall. Not this one, not this one. There we go. And then we go to the Sirti wall. Does not look very good, but thankfully it's just all temporary. Okay. Wait, I should also see if no clip will, like, actually, like, save us when we're not in the air. Oh, wait. First things first. Actually test the thing that I was going to test. So, we're about 8 milliseconds. When I stand on this, we're about 8 milliseconds, maybe 9. Okay, it seems like this does not murder the frame rate, which is good. Good to know. So we can have rocks of like this level of detail with collision on them. Okay. If I were to put something in here, what would it be? Oh, wait. I kind of would like an old fountain, actually. So, like an old Sirti thing. And then maybe another old tree that used to be here. Actually. Hi, welcome to welcome back. I think we could have one of these old trees growing back. So it's basically a tree that's been completely cut, and then you can see the little things regrowing on the other sides. I'm doing okay. We had some technical difficulties earlier today, where I, just wasn't recording for, 15 or 20 minutes. Actually, how long would it have been? It might have been, well, I think it was, 20 minutes. And I just didn't realize it, because the OBS died. Or, OBS just didn't preview it correctly. But okay, I'm thinking a spooky tree. And they cut the tree, and it's still growing. That's gonna be kind of good, actually. And then I think that's basically good for this area. I'll just delete the obviously misplaced things down here. I don't know why these are even down here. And maybe here. Let's see. Yeah, not too many people today. I think it might be because I was offline without realizing it. Let's see, so what is this exactly? Oh, I see. These two are linked. Then I'll ignore that for the time being. So I'll put here our cube. So this is going to be SerDes platform high res. Smooth. Shade smooth. Bevel. Is that gonna... There we go. Okay. This will be 0.2. So where do we get our text editor? Actually, what do I want where? I think this is good. I don't need a whole thing here. I need just the property viewer mostly. Wrong thing. This one. There we go. So now there's going to be a cool tree on this as well. Well, actually, I'm divided. I'm really divided on what I want for this exactly. Because I don't want it to sort of cramp the style of this tree. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense, to not have it interfere with this one. Instead, it's just going to be some other type of ruin here. And this is just going to be... Well, let's have this, but then instead of duplicating it, I'm going to do Alt-D. This is going to be low-res collision. And just not have this. There we go. And that way we can just have like some little bits here. So we can see this used to be something, but now it's just kind of not. So what exactly do I want here? Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no. These are the same thing. So I can just edit either of these. So let's have this almost like collapse like that. This one will come down like this. And then I think this comes in a bit. Just clear that it's an old, decrepit sort of thing. Let's do like this. And then we'll just have some other little like random bits and pieces of this thing scattered around. But okay, I think that's enough of that. So now we need to start, as I said, the long and laborious process of putting in the proper walls. So let's just have a whole thing here. Empty plain axes, walls. So we need a simple post. Oh. So what is this called? Stone wall 7 simple post. Wall 8 simple short. And then wall 9 simple long. And actually, what does this zone exactly have? Too much stuff. I don't like the road being in here. Well, I guess this is fine. This whole area can be zone 1. Then this will be, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. Get the road out of here. It doesn't go in here. It goes elsewhere. That's my main point. This whole area is zone 1. Let's ignore that. So yeah, we'll just start by this. And then we put this attached to here. Okay. Boom. Alright, let's see. Tools that allow you to easy... Yeah. Yeah, because I need more tooling and stuff. See, I'm gonna do like this. Well, how do I want to do this exactly? I think I just need a medium wall. Simple, short. Let's export this as wall 10, simple, medium. Okay, is that long enough? Let's do 1.5 or 4. Okay, now we generate this, and then we export. Do all of our things. Then we can come back into here and link whatever we're linking. Wall 10, simple, medium. There we go. Right there. And now I should have close enough. Yeah, that's close enough. Do I want anything else with this? I think this is fine. But alright. Oh yeah, we can just have... I just realized this wall isn't the thing that I need. In fact, we don't even really need that, because I'm just going to do... Let's just move this thing. Just make everything match. Just make things easy for myself. And then we just have a little, like, seam in the wall. I don't need to sweat it. Yeah, I went to college for computer science. Let's see, let's do... There we go, okay. In fact, let's move this to global. No, I think I prefer local. It tends to be more useful. Yeah. Yeah, computer science turned out pretty good. I think I have like a... And I enjoy programming. And I enjoy learning about like computer science stuff. Let's see, I think what I want here is actually the medium wall. What do I want, really? What does anyone want? Yep, I'm working in, I work as a software developer. Yeah, it's not quite game development, but it is a good office job, I'd say. So do I want anything different here? Maybe I do want this, for example. And also, I just realized some advanced stuff that I could do. I could do, like, 3D cursor. What is it? 2? And then we can rotate this, like this, and make it seamless. But okay, that's 2 of like 100 walls. So I think we're doing pretty good. Oh wait. Now we need median point, because otherwise it gets all screwy. You know, I'm realizing I should really focus on making the area more platformable before I do, like, all of this aesthetic stuff, but I guess I don't care. Because I guess what I'll do instead is I'll just move stuff around until the platforming is good. After the fact. We don't need this anymore. Okay, so where do we put this such that it doesn't cause horrible consequences for us? I guess what I'll do is I'll just cut away bits of this wall where it's inconvenient for me. I should probably hide the, like, sub things by default. Because it does cause a lot of Z fighting. That's hard to, like... It's hard to figure out what Z fighting I want and what I don't want. But okay, I think this goes in a different direction than this wall. It just goes at a 90-degree angle. Yeah, the Dragon Ball Z fighters, they're good. I mean, I guess there's some bad guys in that show, but mostly good, I assume. I haven't actually watched much. But okay, do I want to go... I'll just go this way. I don't need to sweat it. Yeah. Z fighting is good as long as the good Z wins. Alright, so there. This. That. There we go. In fact, I've now realized this is not... That's too short. We need this one, the medium one. And then it'll all work out. Now, how do we square this circle? I think we put this here, and this will eventually be our thing. Oh. There we go. Aha. I've played my cards right. This does kind of work here. Do I want... I'll keep this as it is. I'll eventually have to figure out as well the buildings proper, but we can just not figure them out yet. There we are. I mean, we don't really need... Well, we do kind of need this. Now we know where this will be. Hi, welcome back. Let's see. Let's put this... Yeah, let's line this up with this. Oh, this is going to need to be mediums at the longest. There we go. There we go. Do I need... Yeah, I'll put it like that. Okay, this is all coming together now. Okay, what am I guess I should talk about other things that I'm thinking about instead of saying nothing. My other major projects that I'm working on right now are that Algol 60 compiler I've been working on for a while, and that new terrain editor that I've been playing with, where I can like move around chunks of the terrain like stamps or like just Godot nodes. Because that's coming along. The main thing I need now is just the ability to rotate and scale height map stuff. Because it's pretty cool. Yeah. I should... Let's see, do I want to show it off? Because I'm not going to be doing anything here for a while in Godot, so I could just have it open, or at least demonstrate it. Yeah, because I learned a bit about compute shaders, and for some reason I had to flip the red and green of the texture channels. Oh yeah, the road is a simple mesh that has a few modifiers on it. So the main one is a shrink wrap, which actually just makes it follow the road. Another one, the one before that, is a subdivision, which just makes it so that it follows it more accurately. If we remove that, it just adds some extra geometry. And then we simplify the geometry just for the sake of performance, which actually doesn't do anything here, but oh, it does a smidge up here. But yeah, a lot of times it doesn't do too much. And then triangulate, and then data transfer, which just makes it so that it like blends in with another road, which actually this one doesn't need. Basically just for like here, to make these seams less seamful. Yeah, I'll show off. So my new terrain editor gizmo. So we can play around, and like I have a stamp over here. Actually, I'm going to slightly lower the volume. Ah, yeah. Yeah, I use that for some things, but it's definitely not as flexible as I need, because it doesn't, like, attach to the ground. Yeah. Yeah, so now my new thing is my little height map thing, which there's basically two ways that I can use it, because the green channel is basically the opacity, and the red channel is the height. I would have used the actual alpha channel, but, like, textures get confusing. They only allow a certain number of formats. Yeah, this thing is my height map editor. Because basically, I wanted basically the ability to, like, move terrain elements around. And so the way that I've implemented that is by having these stamps, basically. And eventually I'd like the ability to move them around, or, like, paint on them like image layers. But this one is like a more conventional height map where there's a red channel that tells you how tall the object is, so this is like some kind of bowl. And then a green channel to tell you how opaque it is, to basically just smoothly blend in with the surrounding terrain. Yeah, you could get like stamps of things and then just like randomly shuffle them around, like get a mountain and position it like just procedurally. Because this stuff works pretty interactively. It's not very fast, but it's pretty fast. Certainly faster than like a lot of other terrain editors can be, since I'm also generating the collision. So this is all handcrafted shader stuff. Like, we got the shaders somewhere in here. Reload that. It should be under... Where is terrain? Oh, here. So yeah, the heart of it is the blending thing. Yeah, I haven't tested in-game, but it should be just a regular... Because now it's basically just a mesh with a texture and the height map collider. Eventually, I'd want to see about like dividing it into multiple meshes and then doing like GPU instancing for stuff rather than having just like one, you know, ungodly giant mesh that also make the shaders more efficient, or like editing. But yeah, it should be basically just as fast as it is in the editor here. The main thing is actually the editing, since this is doing a lot of work right now. It's regenerating all of the collisions and all of the meshes in real time. Which on the CPU took like 5 minutes, which is why I had to do the GPU shaders. Or compute shaders. Yeah, there's also some useful things like the fact that the layers actually properly do ordering. So I can like put this on top of this, or I can put it underneath it. Because yeah, I wanted it to be something like Photoshop style layering. The range of depth. Yep. Yeah, so that would be... So, for example, if I wanted this to go deeper, I could do, like, negative 100. And that makes the cone more obvious. Thanks. Yeah, I've been... This was surprisingly not as difficult as I expected, but I think it's also because I've done a lot of, like, GPU stuff. Yeah, because the main things are, like, the main weirdness was this adding, like, pipelines, lists, and then, like, uniform sets and, like, all this dispatching stuff, which I didn't understand before. But thankfully the examples... I guess this specific scenario isn't too complicated, because I just have a bunch of jobs that run one after the other. Let's see, for this one, I did use, let's look it up. There's the Godot height map example. Yeah, there's no exact tutorial. In fact, this has a kind of funky format where I have to convert the image into a buffer rather than using the texture. But let's see. I did use their height map example, which isn't quite the same thing because it just does, it generates height maps like these. So it's a very different, like, thing, but let's try this. How long does it take? Oh, okay, that's not too bad. But yeah. This did at least get me a lot of ideas for how to actually do the GPU shading stuff. Yeah, I guess I should go back to placing posts though. So yeah, enough talk about compute shaders and stuff. We got walls to build. Yeah, we save the science for the scientists here. That could be good. I should probably just open source it, even though it's not really feature complete. Oh yeah. It's not actually going to be used for At the Ends of Eras. It's going to be used probably for a future game. Yeah, because I think I've decided that I'm just going to say the terrain that I've made for this area is going to be finalized already. And any more detail I want, I'll put in, like, rocks like this. Which, speaking of, I need to make these rocks look good. But I'll do that sooner, rather than later. Okay. Actually, I'm going to drink some water as well. I haven't been drinking enough water lately. Do I want to do... I know what I'll do. Have this connect here, and then this wall will actually connect to this one. Yeah, usually I'm pretty good about it, but lately I think it's because a lot of my water comes from my morning tea. It's like a quart of water. And I just haven't been drinking it lately. I've been waking up too late to start my day right. So programmed terrain. I've used procedural terrain occasionally, not for this game though. I think the last time I really used it was I actually made a Gary's mod map with a height map generator. That was rather tricky. Because that was before I really knew any programming of my own, so I had to, like, figure out what third-party tools could convert from, like, a height map to source engine displacements, as they were called. But yeah, let's do... Actually, this is probably going to be too long. There we go. Yeah, I think it's been about 9 years since I made a map for Gary's Mod, but I used to make maps. I made, I think, 3. But yeah, I wanted to make more. And in fact, I kind of do... That could be a fun project someday. To just go back and make more maps. If this whole game development thing doesn't work out, I might do that. Let's see, do I want this to be the long one? Procedural houses. That could be good. But I think for these ones, it'll be... I'll just do simple old boxes, basically. Boxes with bevels. Actually, procedural walls could probably be a good use of my time. Well, yeah, because I imagine, like, drawing a line and then it automatically, like, chooses which walls to use and things like that. Oh, wait, also. I see these aren't properly aligned. And also, I should probably just make these... You know, I'm going to go into the wall posts and just make them wider. So what is that? Wall 9, simple post. And we don't even need this. We can just do Alt-D. This will just be low-res shape. And it'll have no modifiers. And that way, we can just make this a bit wider. 0.15. Yeah, that'd be cool to just have procedural style things. How would I do that? I'd have to learn a lot more about Blender scripting. Or like geometry nodes or something. Oh wait, we need short. So where do we put this such that it does what I want? I think we put it right here. There we go. Okay. And we don't really need this. And also, what am I going to do with this wall here? Because it feels wrong to have a wall that leads from a downhill. Let's see. So my map is actually just a mesh, but it's 6 by 6 kilometers. And that little terrain editor thing was about 1/2 kilometer by 1/2 kilometer. Yeah, I think this whole area is like half a kilometer by half a kilometer. Well, actually, how big is this area? I think it's just a few hundred by a few hundred meters. But yeah, the game gets very large. The main downside is going to be putting content in it. Now, what if we just grab these, copy them over? We needed this one over here, actually. Actually, let's keep this wall, or keep this kind of as it is. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. So this does not do what I want, because we're about a meter off where I want to be. Oh wait, hang on. What is this? We don't need that. You know what, I'll say that's probably going to be fine. And I just realized I don't even need to line it up. I can just make it, like, do what I want. Dang, we're going to need some, like, walls here to make this work. No, let's do global for now. So where exactly do I put what I need? I think it's exactly here. On the same place as it was on the other side. Yeah, I guess we do this. Swap things around just like haphazardly and confusingly. Let's see. It is a state machine, but it's so big that it's, well, I guess it's pretty comprehensible, actually. Let's see. Let's close this. So if we go to player, scripts, state data is the main, well, it does a lot of things, but there's a lot of states is the main issue. But all of them have like nice descriptions, or like nice lists of properties, and they can do weird things like inherit from each other. So yeah, this is like most of the like core properties, because it used to be there's like 150 lines of just like constants declared at the top of the file. But now it's a bit fewer. Well, there's still a lot of constants though. Actually, how many of these do I even use? I'll have to refactor that. Yeah. Because the actual physics loop, very simple. We get the best interactable, we get our input, we get the next state, and then set it if it's not the default state. Clear our collisions and then move. And then this is all just like visual stuff, basically. Well, actually it's sleep, and then visuals. Yeah, then once we actually get into all these things, it can get pretty messy with just how much stuff, how many considerations there are for each one. Oh yeah, basically, I don't use a move and slide. I use... So we have P collision. So I have a list of collisions that have the normal, or the collision, normal, depth, context. And then if we do like a new, I basically track all of our collisions manually through things like move and collide, and then what's smart collide? Basically, I need very specific behavior for movement. Like this smart collide does some very specific things to make sure that when you jump into a wall or like a sloped surface, it doesn't shoot you up or down. And it does that basically through this function, which just checks like let's see exactly how would I describe that. Basically, it checks if you're going like this, and it checks this normal, and so it will remove this component of your movement if you're, you know, depending on basically this angle. Because otherwise, if you like jump into a wall, you get shot upward and slide upward, and it feels really weird. And so subtle things like that. There's a lot of other ones as well. Let's see, like, how do we do these exactly? But yeah. There's a lot of very specific things with it. I used to just hack into... I actually hacked move and collide in Godot 3 to change it to do what I wanted. But now I just actually just use a vanilla thing. Or like do it through scripting. Yeah, basically, it slowly reduces the amount of sliding you get the more like directly you're hitting a wall. Because in a default move and collide, what happens is if you hit like a very slightly vertical surface, you'll get shot like a rocket, or like a very slightly like ramped surface. And so you have to have like you have to configure like the sliding or like the floor normal and stuff like that. But I also need to track collisions for climbing and stuff like that. So it was easier to just manually do all of that than to try to figure out how to get the move and collide to do what I want, or move and slide. Okay, this looks good. Let's just get like these. Figure out how to slap this in here. Do we want... I think we want like this. Do I want this to actually be as it is? Like, I don't really see the point in having it this way, when I could have it this way. And just connect here. Except for the fact that now I'd have to do more work to get this working. Well, not that much more work. Yeah, that's fine. Let's put this... There we go. And a similar thing over here. Do we want... I think we'd want the wall... Like, we'd want the outside to still have... Like, to still be accessible. Okay. We're actually halfway there. Okay, nice. Hmm. Oop. There we are. Here. There we go. Okay, anything else that I'd want here? I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have... Well, what if I move this over here and then have these connect here? I'll try to figure out how to do that, because I'd like that. Let's put this all aligned properly and nicely with this one. Yeah, I'm very polite. I always do things nicely. But okay, I think then put this here. Good enough. Using medium. Let's see, and we don't really need... Do we really need all of these little pillar things? I guess I'll keep them for now. Well, if we have these connect like this, that feels okay. Yeah, I'll do that for some of these walls, just to make it, like, feel a little bit different. You know, he couldn't splurge for the pillars on the intermediary walls, or like on the height change walls. He could only do it on the nice, or on like his corners. Let's get this one. Yeah, let's try to get these somewhat in line with these, even though, honestly, I don't actually have any strong opinions on the positions of these walls. I think it's just, you know, more or less arbitrary. Ooh, that's not gonna quite fly. Well, no, it'd be fine, actually. Yeah, procedural walls would be good, but I'm not sure if it would be worth the investment. Well, actually, it very likely could be, because after this, I have to do the entire other city. Much to consider. How would I do a procedural wall? I think what I would want is the ability to set the, like, number, or like the group of walls that I use. And then I would want to draw a line from point A to point B, specifying the ground. And what we would do then is insert the walls at, like, particular offsets with posts at the corners. I should probably just put in the walls first and then decide if I'm going to do... Because I can do these ones in probably like 15 minutes, where it's going to take like 8 hours to figure out how to do the, do wall posts, or like procedural wall generation stuff. You know what? This guy... So this is the beginning of a separate wall property. Let's do local. Yeah, I think I want to put as much level design as possible in Blender. Though admittedly, that's mostly just because I've already started doing that. Yeah, basically the advantage of doing it all in Blender is that I then can like quickly refer to it when I'm designing the terrain, which actually, now that I think about it, I said I was going to finalize the terrain, so it doesn't really matter. And actually, well, but if I use Godot, then I wouldn't have access to just like, because what I'd imagine would be great for making a procedural wall is just like basically getting a little vertex and being like, okay, put a wall here, 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 you know, and zigzag like this, and then, you know, connect back up. And then it can figure out like how to place all of this stuff in there. So I think that'll be what I try to aim for. Yeah, that'll be... I think we can start doing that today, but it'll just be after this wall. Oh. Is this the right place for this? Yeah, I've also been trying to practice Blender scripting, because that feels like it'll be a very useful ability since nobody seems to know how to do it. So if I can figure out how to do it, then I'll be extremely powerful. Actually, that'd be... Because I've been thinking about, like, that height map thing. The main reason I'm working on it is because I think I'd get clout for open sourcing it. So if I make a procedural wall drawing tool in Blender, imagine the clout that I would get for sharing it. It'd probably be on the Blender forums. Let's put this thing somewhere. Yeah, I think the main thing that I would want is for it to act basically like a modifier. But I don't think you can do that with meshes. I don't think you can make a modifier that like adds entities. You can only edit the geometry. Oh wait, we don't need this one. We need a medium. What am I thinking? Look at that, it actually matches this area. Perfect. Let's copy this link. Okay, yeah. Because I do actually have... Let's see. Do I still have my object placer? Because I know for my Sonic game, I made something where you could procedurally place, like procedurally make paths. But okay. This is pretty good. Yeah, because I actually had something like this, but I don't think it works in Godot 4. Do I even have... Actually... Oh, whoops. That was the wrong button. I was trying to press Shift Control Q in Godot to start up the project manager, but I was in Firefox, so I just killed my whole window. Okay, let's get back to square one. Streamer mode, Twitch, YouTube. Oh, and also, I should say, streamer mode is the name that I have for my bookmarks for Twitch stuff. Let's copy that link again. And let's also go back to my music. Playlists. Stream mix. Close enough. Okay, let's go back to this. So at 3 minutes, let's see, it will work faster. Videos, bullshit. Did it think I was using a VPN? I didn't actually fully understand. As it turns out, I don't... Well... Yeah, let's see. I do like... I like how it places these. Yeah, I do have a similar thing, actually. I did make a similar thing. I'll have to figure out where it is, though. Or, like, figure out how to get it running in Godot 4, because it currently only is in Godot 3. Can I make these work together? So, I think I can do a medium. Aha! It almost works. What if we did 3 shorts? And I become a TikToker. Okay, this works well enough. I can probably fake this. Yeah, it was basically... It did 2 things. It generated the mesh from the paths, because I didn't know about Godot's CSG feature. But then it also... what did it do exactly? It could place objects at fixed offsets along the path. So I used it for things like, it was mainly for roads because I was making a Sonic type game. But I could also use it for ladders and things like that, and like railroad tracks as well. But it didn't work as well as that one where there's multiple things on one path though. It could only do one mesh and one like set of objects, or like one object that you instance across the scene. I guess what you could do is you could make it more composable. Like instead of having it a like property of the path itself, you just have like a bunch of nodes that are children of the path. that like adds stuff to it. We don't need that. That's for that wall. Okay, is this... I think here... I think we just do 2 of these. Maybe 1 of these and 1 medium wall. Whoop, wrong building. I think this will probably be close enough to align. Yeah, I think especially since these are angular, my dream would be to have, yeah, like I said, to have little vertices that I can place around, and then it tries to figure out how to make a wall that goes up adequately. Let's put this there. I think our main constraint here will be draw calls. Though I found they actually aren't too bad of an issue when I was doing like my multi-mesh research for the grass. Yeah, and I guess I think the paths allow you to have limited oh wait, no, I just realized. The big problem I had with CSGs in the past was that really long, thin triangles didn't work well with bullet. But since I'm not using bullet, and I have a completely different set of problems with jolt, I don't need to worry about that. I need to worry about all the other problems that jolt has. Do I need... I think I can use this wall if I'm feeling... Yeah, you know what? I'm feeling lazy. I won't do a wall there. I'll do a wall here. In fact, we'll need... I'll do walls in this style. I'm realizing these slopes are very, like, homogeneous. Like, the fact that I can reuse these walls across different slopes feels like it's telling me something. It's, like, too repetitive. The terrain needs to be flatter or more jagged. But oh well. That's a problem for future me, if I want to deal with it. But I'll give future me a lovely treat, which will be a procedural wall placer as soon as I get the rest of these in. Do I want something else here? I think I want a medium. Yeah, that's about good enough. And what I'll do is I'll just put this here. Just mask the border a bit. Yeah, let's see if these will work. I'm also wondering if I should have this at all, because this doesn't feel like it's actually particularly, like, beneficial to me, but, ah well. I like having a weird little, just wall in here. Just at an angle. Yeah, let's leave that probably like that. Wait, how does this get from... Where is this going exactly? Does it go to, like, here? And then here, and then here? Huh. Kind of a questionable design, I'd say. But okay. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna make this go, well, now that I have this here, what if I just make it go this way? You know, just make it, like, easier on myself. And here we can compress these in a little bit by... Yeah, I have an idea on how to do these. Individual origins? Oh, wait. Let's just push this in. Oh, excuse me. Push this in. These are not quite as tall as I'd like them to be. Oh well. Okay. Let's try and push these as close together as I possibly can, so that way I have enough room to make some nice stuff here. Because I think these will not quite work. If I did the opposite, though... actually, I think these will be fine. Because what I can do is I can just grab this, move it this way, make it not quite perfectly aligned. But, you know, now you can see. There we are. Practically good. And then there it'll do its own thing. But okay, the last one, the ultimate challenge. A wall that goes pretty high. Oh wait, I should put the put these in first. And admittedly, I might just not bother with this wall, now that I think about it? Who's gonna miss it? You know, I think that's a good tactic for game development. Just don't do the last bit of work. If it feels like it's going to be slightly harder, simply don't do it. Nobody's counting. Unless you explicitly said, like, there's going to be 100 levels, and then you get to, like, 95, and you're like, eh. What if there was 95 levels? Oh, wait. Median point is what I wanted. There we go. Yeah, entrances will be next. I gotta figure out how I want to do those. Probably doors in the walls. So I'll just like swap out one of these with a prefab that has a door inside of it. Right, let's do global. That way I can just move these around as I see fit. Oh wait, I just realized. These have to be the other way around. Yeah, that's good enough. We can make these perfect. Yeah, that's good enough. Actually, there we go. Yeah, it'd be good for believability. But yeah, they're not strictly necessary for gameplay. Yeah, I probably will do it though, just by like swapping them out. Yeah, how do we... Let's put this up here, like that. Is this a... No, we need a long one here. This is a proper wall. We used to be a proper wall. Yeah, there are numerous lore implications to the doors. What kind of door? Who made the door? Did they like doors? Many questions that must be answered, but all in due time. Thankfully, I've basically made this completely lined up with the grid. Yeah, I simply make it up as I go along. And if it has any logical inconsistency, that's just postmodernism, buddy. It's an unreliable narrator. You know, we need more media literacy. Good enough. Okay, let's see this mess in the game. Alrighty. The main thing we need is road. We'll need to be back to dirt. And then all of our other things. Oh. These are not named properly. Oh. I see. Okay. So find our lovely wall 8. Simple. Replace it with stone. 8. Simple. That'll be all of them. 341 objects? Is that right? Have I placed 349 walls? Let's search for stone. Stone. Renamed 0. Oh, okay. It was 341 is all of the objects in the entire scene. That makes a lot more sense. But okay. Now, if we... what was happening here? Wall stuff. Let's close this. I'm sure it'll be fine. So why are these not working correctly? Wall 9, simple long. So that's the correct... Oh, I see. There's no inherited scene for this one. Okay, so this is areas. No, environment. No, entities, environment, stone. Save it. Oh, wait. The Devils _ I knew I made these. Okay, and now we come back into the farm. We re-import this, and it should work perfectly. So now we need wall 10. Okay. Now we get this working. Oh wait, change the type of this. Yeah, evil underscores. I don't like that they put underscores where I don't want them. So now I can go back to farms, re-import again, and this time the medium walls will also be fixed. Look at that. And then we go back to the dirt road. It's already 9:30? Wow. Did I do a lot of work today? I guess I did 4 hours worth of work, but it doesn't feel like it. I guess time flies when you're just placing walls. Oh yeah, my, I should probably change that. Hang on. Script, when the player does one, or like, down times delta. This should just be vector 3 down. Basically, we instantly go down a meter. Yeah, because I do think something procedural, or like clicking and placing objects, would be a lot more useful. But it's also just so time-consuming to make such things. Because I guess I mean, even finding them can be quite difficult, because then you have to like wrap your head around how it works. Let's make this thing nice. So it's like it's clear that there's remnants of an ancient society. Even more ancient. Yeah, I've done a little bit with add-ons, and they were okay. But it does... Actually, I remember there's something really difficult with it. Because it was an atmospheric perspective add-on that I wanted for skyboxes in a different game. And I can't remember why, but there's something very difficult about using it with my particular version of Blender. And I bet it'd also be very difficult to find a, like, procedural wall placing thing that I'd like. Yeah, I'd probably just make one. And that could be fun. But alright, let's actually see how these walls look. I think they're gonna look like walls, and they're not gonna be particularly offensive in any way. Yeah, I'm suspecting that that's going to be the case. I may want to do something more interesting with the tops of these pillars. I'm thinking like having the caps of them be a different material, so that way there's a little bit more variety. Because, you know, I placed all of these entities, so I should probably do something more like interesting with them. I could also have an alternate texture. Actually, what if we made these have a different material on the sides? So like we make this unique. And then we have like this on the sides here. And then we could save this as just like a mud wall material. And then the pillars are gonna, you know, then the pillars will look slightly different. What is this? Oh, that's our bespoke little wall. Oh wait, I got the wrong thing up. Yeah, this still needs to be mud brick. I was editing the wrong walls. How uncouth of me, how silly of me. Okay, these ones are the ones I want. These ones we swapped to mud wall. Actually, and we put this in here. And that way we just get an ever so slightly different texture from the actual posts. Interesting. Thank you, Godot. Alright, Godot. You win. I won't edit those ones. The lighting here is so bright. Okay, so anything here not doing what I want it to do? Did I somehow get all of them even though I didn't actually like get all of them? Interesting. Oh. This one. Thank you, Godot. Okay. So now there should just be a faint amount of texture difference between the posts and the walls. Not enough that it feels like they're made of completely different materials, but enough that it should add some, like, diversity or some visual interest. And I can do more later. Yeah, because we can see those ones are now unique. These ones are now unique in a different way. And it feels more like brick that works pretty nicely, actually. I was wondering if I should make, like, a clearly, like, painted over brick texture, but because this repeats, it just looks like brick that's been covered with something, even though it's just the ground texture. So, admittedly, quite simplistic area. I think we'll need more rocks, more trees, more other interesting bits. But, you know, that's for future me to decide. The future me should probably also make a oh, what the heck's this? Oh yeah, this is our thing. Our lovely little tower whatchabop. Or wall. But okay. This area definitely looks more visually interesting, visually just like grounded, I guess. Like they built walls out of stuff instead of building walls out of like polygons in a video game. And we can see our simpler walls make way for these more fancy walls. Or perhaps older fashioned walls even. Oh, and that big hitch was probably from the underground area loading in. Oh, that hitch might be. Yeah. And that was still only half of them. So yeah, I should probably... I think, yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna make a wall placer. That'd be fun. It'd give me immense power. And clout. I'd become the coolest guy. But okay. What did I do here? Rocks and walls. All right. Oh, and I ordered $400 in hard drives. I got 16 terabytes of data. I'm gonna make a 12 terabyte RAID setup. And like have it as an external Git server. Because like, if we remember my exciting drive saga, my main drives are a bit full. Even my 7 terabytes getting pretty full. I mean, only 800 gigabytes left. What am I going to do? Well, what I'm going to do is get more hard drives and copy all of my stuff onto them, but not delete it on these drives. I guess they'll become like archival drives or something. Or I'll just use them as I am now, where I just push, like I push to the GitHub, then I push to the drive, then I push to the other drive. Yeah. Admittedly, like 3 terabytes is just stream footage, but you know, I gotta record my streams at 1080p, 60 FPS, and I will not compress them to, whatever I'm compressing them to. Oh, I see. These are not... Hang on. There is a minor issue. These medium things... Ah, well, whatever. Just put it in the weekly thing or something. Weekly, April 23 plus. make the walls consistently smooth / flat. Procedural wall placer script. Yeah, I basically upload a... When I upload the VOD to YouTube, it's higher quality than the Twitch stream. And that also means that I don't have to download it from Twitch. Especially since, like, now my VODs are like a month behind. So, I'd only have, yeah. So I'd basically just have to keep up with downloading them, and I don't want to bother. I'm lazy. But speaking of lazy, I'm gonna go to bed. Or eat food or do something. But I'll be back, tomorrow. That's the day I'll be back. And I'll do more stuff. Probably that procedural wall stuff. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Take care.